This Sunday. Every Sunday, side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here, relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp at mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the MotorMouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
I got a knock a second off to get a trophy run. 1 grand, 2 grand RPM. But keep breaking loose on the line, then I'm done. 3 grand, 4 grand RPM. That's why I'm winding out, I gotta get more RPM.
Gotta get my RPMs too. If you're looking to get your RPMs up, your heart rate, whatever kind of RPM you deal with, you've tuned into the right show. You've got MotorMouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show with your hosts, Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. We're trying to hit the red line today, baby, and maybe we'll do it. I don't know.
With our listening audience, the geriatrics that listen to this program, I think that would be quite painful if you ask me personally. But
We may have a few lawsuits coming down our way, but you know what? Nothing we haven't had before. So
hobbling down our way, wheeling their way down our way. How are you, my brother, on this fine Sunday, on this Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
Did you see your shadow?
I didn't look. I was too busy doing other things. But
I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, Groundhog Day, right? What's Punxsutawney Phil going to be saying? It's like, when do we care about a weather report from a rodent? Only like 1 day a year, which boggles my mind.
well, watching TV today, I did find that the Punxsutawney Phil in PA, he did not see a shadow. So he said 6 more weeks of winter.
Right.
Staten Island
Chuck.
or whoever it is,
Yeah.
he did. So Staten Island says we're going to have an early spring. That's great. I'll go with that. No problem.
We have our finger on the pulse here of weather reports and anything else automotive
Yeah. No
on this
problemo.
fine, upstanding program.
Got
Hey,
that.
speaking of unrelated automotive, I did some diagnostics on a washing machine this week.
Did you?
I was literally in awe because the washing machine that we have decided not to spin. It goes into that spin cycle. So
Right.
when you open up the lid, everything is all still soggy and wet. It's not smacked up against the drum like it should be, and kind of damp. It wasn't. So yeah, I did some research on it of course, Dr. Google, mechanic Google, high holy Google did the research and found out that it does have a diagnostic mode. So I was able to,
Yeah.
I was like giddy. I was like, oh, good. It's like getting on the dashboard and working on like in the 70s and 80s on some old Cadillac Eldorado or something, and on the climate control, because at the time, this, you had one you can actually punch in on the climate control, and you were able to get a diagnostic reading from the display on the climate control. And the same thing with this washing machine. So I was able to do it, and I was able to fix it.
Right.
Able to do a repair. So did the test and everything, and it worked out very well. But yeah, so I was very proud of myself that I was able to do diagnostics on a major appliance this week.
Yeah, I found that with a few years ago that I was working on my own machine and found that they mentioned that. And at that time they were transitioning where certain models had that ability and other ones did not. And
Right.
just like cars, the early ones were real clunky and you had to count flashes or whatever, do things. And now it's gotten much better. So
Right. It's the truth.
yeah.
And also, speaking of diagnostics on an automobile,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to had a problem with the Mazda this week. Dawn came back with the car. She says it's running funny. And I said, okay, take mine. So I threw the keys to mine and she took off. So now I'm left with a sick vehicle. But what I was able to do was I tried to run diagnostics on the Mazda. And this car is kind of funny because I have some test equipment, some diagnostic equipment that will not read the code on, won't pull the code. And what in this instance, the problem happened and then kind of corrected itself. Like it was running funny, then it wasn't. So it's almost like it didn't set the code. So my small little Altel, it didn't read the code, but I have a larger, I'm trying to think of them. I think it's called a Cobra, if I'm not mistaken. I used that, and that was able to pull a pending code of a P0304.
Okay.
So I went, misfire in cylinder 4. So thankfully, cylinder 4 on the transverse engine, on the transverse V6 in that car, cylinder 4 was closest to the radiator. It's 4, 5, and 6 are the ones that you don't have to take the intake plenum off to access the coils. So I just simply swapped out the coil, crossed my fingers, because of course I have coils in stock. So I was able to swap out the coil, and that seemed to solve the problem. I'm like, okay, I think I did the right thing here.
All right, good.
So yeah, so I was able to, so I had two home runs in 1 week diagnostically. I was very pleased.
Nice.
And the car, as I'm knocking on wood, are still running well.
Yeah, well, that's good. So, people, if you've had a diagnostic hit or miss, give us 516-572-7440 or text us at.
Oh, yes, you could text us. Yes, if you got a thumb.
Cue the announcer there.
That's me. Hello. Yeah. Good morning. It's 203-670-4127. Get you right here on my wooden desk. Right here. Get you right on top of the scenario as it's going on.
Yes.
So so I've been full of automotive functionality this week.
All right.
It's been good. It's been good. And talking about brakes earlier before we went on the air. It's funny, you had mentioned we were talking about what would you say, the lack of accuracy on brakes on cars in the 90s, right?
Spongy
brakes. Yeah.
It's very common in the 90s.
The brakes on like my Explorer or the Mazda are very good. I got to admit, they're very good. On the Tracker, not so much.
Okay.
And the Tracker is a 2002. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, I had the hood open. Did my usual, hands in my pockets, hood's open, let me look around. And I noticed a little bit of dampness coming from the back of the master cylinder up against the power booster. And I understood that's a problem. So I know that the brakes are naturally spongy on the Tracker. And I keep thinking, cheap car. And mind you, I know I've done the brakes on it. I've done a flush on it, but still didn't get the pedal that I wanted. So what I did was I went and purchased a master cylinder, had it sent over to the house, and I installed it. And sure enough, even though it no longer leaks from the back onto the power booster, I still got a spongy pedal.
Did you bench bleed it before you put it in?
Yes.
Okay. Something I want to say about that, because I've now added something to my brake repertoire. Whenever I do a master, and I just did one on the shop truck, that's what we were talking about, the sponge on that truck. I always bench bleed. But the manufacturers I see they'll recommend one of two different bench bleed methods.
Okay.
One of them being putting fittings in the ports with tubes that loop back into the reservoir.
That's what I did.
The other one is blocking the ports and I've gotten them in the kit, just 2 plugs that you plug the ports with, and then you just work the cylinder, not even an inch, just enough to uncover the ports, and you watch the bubbles in the reservoirs.
That's interesting. I did not realize, because I had to go search for those 4 threaded nipples and hoses, because I had 4 of them.
You don't keep them in the brake bleeding drawer of your toolbox?
Of course I do, but I had to go find 4.
You had to find where the toolbox was. Yeah. So the next thing I do after that, and I learned this because I got bit by it,
Mhm.
Then when I install the master cylinder in the car,
Right.
if I have the block off plugs in the master, I leave them. If not, I put them in. Get in the car, press the pedal.
Don't now. What happens to those blocks that you have in the ports? Don't they go shooting out at that
They're
point?
threaded. No, they're threaded in.
They're
They
threaded
thread
in.
So,
Okay.
it's even the plastic ones don't come out. But when you press the brake pedal, you should feel a high, hard, firm. Because obviously the fluid can't go anywhere.
Can't go anywhere.
If
Sure.
you don't feel that, if you feel some kind of a longer pedal or a drop, it's a bad master cylinder.
Got it.
Take it out,
Yeah.
send it right back to the store, get another one.
Get
Do
another
not
one.
try to flush, do not try to bleed. So I've added that to my repertoire because I've seen plenty of bad masters, bad calipers. So now that's a nice first level check,
Good idea.
and then go on from there.
Hmm.
Uh,
Right. It should be stable at that point because,
Should
like
be
you say, the
rock
fluid.
solid.
Right. It
Right.
should be rock solid because the
Exactly.
fluid can't go anywhere
Right.
at that point.
Uh,
Sure.
So
Very good.
yeah. So
Mhm.
that's then there's all the bleeding techniques, all the other stuff we get into, which is it's
I had a little bit of a precarious situation. I don't know if you have, I'm sure you've gone through this. The tracker it's got to be the smallest bleeder screw
oh yeah.
possible. It literally is a size between a 7 millimeter size and an 8 millimeter size.
There are half sizes.
Yeah, and I don't have them.
My Mazda 3 was a four-wheel disc car,
Right.
and I'm trying to remember if it was an 8 and a 7. There were two different sizes. The one was smaller than
Right.
the other. 8 and a 7 or an 8 and a 6. And I had to keep the special wrenches aside.
I was almost going to have to go digging for my Triumph
Jeez.
Wentworth wrenches.
Yeah, that's small. That is
But what ended up happening was, since I didn't have a decent wrench to get on it, and mind you, there's only one bleeder screw in the back, cheap car, because the brake line runs into the passenger wheel cylinder in the rear and then runs out again, and then
it
runs.
splits from the wheel cylinder.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
my word, I've never
runs
seen
and then
that.
runs to the driver's side. Yeah, because I pull the
Wow.
wheel on the passenger side. I'm like, where's the bleeder screw? And I see two tubes, two brake lines running into the wheel cylinder. So the fluid goes through that cylinder and then out and then back to the driver's
Oh.
side. And that's the one that I was having trouble with.
So you're saying there's no no rear hose.
No rear hose.
So as the rear end goes up and down, the hard line moves with it.
There must be the hose. There must be a hose that runs from a hard line to like the chassis that somewhere, I guess, would be under the
back
axle.
of the car.
The
Yeah,
back, yeah. Because there's two hard lines at the wheel.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it
So,
could be the hose that has a hard line at the end of it. Sometimes that's how they make those hoses.
mhm.
There's like a couple inch section of hard line.
That's probably the case. I'm not
Okay.
really sure. I don't have a mental picture in my mind, but I do know
Yeah.
that there's two hard lines.
Wow, I've never seen that. Usually
So
they
yeah.
at the block at the hose. Yeah.
So now I'm going after that little bleeder screw. I'm on it with a small vice grip. And that's a problem. When you're at that point, at that stage of the repair, nothing good can happen from here. But what I did do, which was something I don't recommend, was I used the inductor.
I've used it on the trucks all the time.
But
the
the
time.
funny thing is, brake fluid is flammable.
Yes, it is.
So you have to be very gentle with the procedure.
You do.
And I made on the inductor, and the inductor is, it looks like a large flashlight, obviously, and it has a coiled wire at the end of it. And what that does is it heats up, and when you hit the button, and it will heat up, you put that coil wire around any nut or bolt or whatever is stuck, and it will heat it almost like a flame, like a torch, it's a wonderful tool. You and I both love this thing.
Mhm.
But when it comes down to something, when you have to heat up a brake bleeder screw, it could start popping and sizzling, and because you're heating up the fluid with it. So you have to heat and get away,
Yeah.
and then clamp on it. And I've come to realize that I've clamped on. This was really something I had to like physically stare at and go, okay, you have to be painfully aware of what you're doing here. So I clamped onto the sides of the bleeder screw with the vice grip and just gently rocked it. So it's not like you're pulling on it. You just gently tipping it back and forth. And it's almost like Zen. It's like, oh, you're in the cosmos and you're thinking about planets and, everything's all good with the universe. Nothing matters. And you just rocket it. And sure enough, I was able to break it free.
Yes.
Now, mind you, I had already I've had the car for what, 2 years? I've already been on that to loosen it up and tighten it to bleed it once before. So I'm like, I'm thinking it locked up again. Like it only took a year, 2 years for this thing that where I needed the inductor on it.
Let me give you something here. What I do is
tell me.
When I work on a vehicle, assuming I haven't worked on it before, and I'm going to do brake bleeding, I will take the bleeders out because sometimes the bleeders get clogged. And I want to make sure it's free before I try and pull fluid through it.
Okay.
So I take it out, I bring it right to the wire wheel, and I clean the threads, I clean the hex, and then I take a brake cleaner with a hose and shoot it through the end and make sure it comes out the hole.
That's a smart idea.
And then the next thing I do is I take my Never-Seez and put a little dab of Never-Seez on the threads. Put it in. Thinking of the next time. So yeah, you might want to try that. It helps and it works. But I'll tell you what, you need better friends is what you need, because I have over the years amassed more and more. I have multiple drawers in the toolbox with brake tools, brake bleeding tools.
Right.
And MatcoMan Brian helped me out, and I'll explain that. That's his new name.
You better.
You mentioned vice grips, and I had found. I think I was watching online. Somebody used a vice grip tool that didn't have flat jaws. They were, like a mountain peak, right?
Okay. Yeah.
To get around a bolt or a nut, it would go around a hex. The peaks of it, would fit like a 6-pointed wrench would.
So it's not to tear the point, not to damage the point.
Yeah, because the jaws of the vice grip aren't flat. They have points in them that would go around it. And I think Irwin sells them also. I looked in every store, I couldn't find them. And they made a 4-inch version and a 6-inch version. And the 4-inch version is great for getting on brake lines, especially when they're in a tight spot. I couldn't find them, but Brian did. He found me. He sells them on a truck. As soon as I put them on, they sell out. So he sent me a pair of each. I bought a pair of each of them from him. And said, that's great. There's another tool that I'm on the fence with. I think I'm gonna try them. Made by Vim. We've talked about ratcheting line wrenches for a long time, because the problem is you use a line wrench, you break the fitting. Let's just say it breaks free. You got to get on it with the wrench, and you're on that thing for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, because you're only moving like what, an inch or a quarter of an inch. You only have that much of a throw. You got to take it off and go back onto it again and do it all over again. Sure.
Through time, there have been some ratcheting line wrenches, but they really never worked well. Vim has this tool now. They're ends, and you put an extension on it, and it kind of opens and closes like a ratchet. I want to try them out for that's for the removal process, or the putting it back together.
But that's has always been a lament, is that any wrench that's small is not very strong. And when you have a line nut that you have to get off, a lot of times that thing is hermetically sealed to wherever position it's in. So because it's under the car, it's exposed to the weather and the salt and everything, and it is what it is. But when I get on it with some of the better wrenches I have, not even the junky ones, but some of the better wrenches, you could see the wrench actually bending, or you could see it actually distorting the nut.
So immediately I question your better wrenches bending. MatcoMan Brian just sent me a picture of a set of sockets with a 5.5 millimeter socket in them.
5.5. Yeah.
I think the Silverline set that he sold me, I bought a set of sockets for it. It's 1/4, 3/8, in a travel case in case I got to run out. And I think there's there's a smaller one in there too. So yeah, there are definitely some smaller sockets.
Right. Yeah. Those are the things that I gravitate to now, are 1/4-inch tools and 1/4-inch ratchets that are halfway decent. I have one. The rest of them are junk.
I do too. I've never, Joe D always did a lot of 1/4-inch stuff because he was always doing dashboard things. I
Yeah.
don't use a quarter inch. I never have, and I still don't use quarter inch a lot. And at the shop, I'm kind of lacking in those tools. At home, I have a better selection, but why I don't bring them there, I don't know, because I'm running a room in a toolbox. That's why. Yeah, sometimes you just need the quarter inch to get in there, and on the brake stuff, that certainly is a.
Doing the master cylinder on the tracker, I worked in all quarter inch, and it worked just fine. It worked just fine. I have a nice quarter inch ratchet. It's got a long handle, so it's not so bad. You get a grip on it. That's really the problem a lot of times with quarter inch, is that the ratchet's that big, so you get a hand on it and you can't turn it. You can't get any leverage with it. So I ended up scoring one that was a little bit longer, like a standard.
So how do you explain the 14-inch long quarter-inch drive ratchet I have that has a 3/8 head that MatcoMan made for me? They make quarter-inch drive in all different sizes.
Yeah, I'm just saying the one I have. I mean, yeah, of course. You're the tool king. I
No,
know that.
no.
I know you are the king o' tools.
Let's go to the phones and go to the phone and say, hi, caller, you're on with the MotorMouths.
Hey, Ray, Chris, John, how are you?
Yeah, John, what's happening?
What's up, John?
Not too much. It's not a top-down day, but...
No.
Did you get my messages yesterday? I was calling you.
Ray, I'm sorry about the tag, but yes,
All right,
did
good.
get them.
Just wanted to make sure I got the right phone number.
John, how's your washing machine, John? How's your major appliances?
I was laughing about the diagnostics.
I'm proud of myself. You kidding? I got it written down. Look, I have diagnostic codes all written down.
Into things these days.
Yeah, I was amazed.
I remember back in the old PC days, you powered them up and it beeped out like
Right.
sending out SOS.
Now wait.
Oh,
a minute.
yeah.
There was a name for that. There was a name for those beeps. Oh, it was an acronym. Shoot, what was it?
Power up
Right.
self-test.
Yes, that was.
Yes.
Right. I knew
thought
John
you
would
were
remember.
testing me, Ray.
Yeah, I know, John. Yeah, you lived and breathed that stuff. I know.
Oh my God, yeah. But
Yeah, good
it's
stuff.
got that built into even some of the cars. You can do. You don't need a scanner. You can go through a sequence, and they'll spit out. It blinks something to give you the code.
Right.
John, there used to be a piece of equipment. I never had it, but I do remember reading about it when I had the Seville. I had a 77 Caddy Seville. And that car required a piece of scanning equipment that I swear to you looked like an old stereo receiver. And it had like a series of lights on it. And that's what it did. You plugged it into the computer.
The Brainiac 2000.
Yeah, it was like the Brainiac 2000, and it had a series of lights, and that's what you had to do. You had to your diagnostic chart corresponded with the light blinks, and the red one blinked 3 times, and the green one blinked 6 times, and it was this whole big craziness of equipment that I wouldn't even know where to find something like that. But it's in the dealer, it's in the shop manual, and the guy in the white coat is pointing to it and with a clipboard, that black and white fuzzy picture. So yeah, they had that equipment and stuff was untouchable.
Like John said, even with the PC days, all this stuff has evolved. To the point now where your washing machine has trouble codes. It's everywhere, and it makes sense because a technician has to do diagnostics. You can't just guess at stuff, and you need a path to that diagnostic, and that's it. So
very true, very true. Yeah, that's why sometimes repairing stuff nowadays is easier. You just have to reinvent your process of how to repair it.
You have to grow with the system is what it is.
Yeah.
You really do. As a technician, you have to kind of to grow. But
well, you got to know that it's something's going to send out SOS, blink a light, beep,
right,
and count the beeps.
Right, exactly.
Lights.
Yes, very true.
Oh my God, crazy stuff. But I was laughing.
Yeah.
Well, let it work for you, John.
Very good.
Hey, I'm going to poll the audience here.
Okay.
Which is why it was going
Which
back.
is the 3 of us right about now.
I got a situation. I bought one of those FM wireless Bluetooth adapters for my vet, which doesn't have Bluetooth in it.
Okay.
Okay.
And it works fine in my 2016 Ram, my wife's 2016. When I plug it into the cigarette lighter in the vet, it doesn't power up. But the cigarette lighter works.
Oh.
My first thought was, a lot of cigarette lighters now don't power up until the key is on. So if you're trying to do it statically, you won't get anything because it's
That makes some sense, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do like the Chinese and the Mumbai people to me. No offense to them. But if I push the cigarette lighter in and it pops out in glowing cherry red.
That's live. Yes.
That's working.
So it could be, maybe it's I've had inconsistencies. I have a couple of extension cords where you plug the plug in and the light doesn't light, your work light. It's like the plastic on the extension cord end is so thick that it doesn't let I actually shaved one of them down and then the plug worked fine. So it could be maybe the male
receptacle
end of your your power adapter. I mean,
put it in,
I would
give it a twist,
push it in, give it a twist, things like that. Yeah,
sure.
It's something
I've done all of that, and if I plug it into the auxiliary plug, which I have in the center console, thing powers right up.
Right. So it's the lighter. It's the lighter. It's the lighter in the dash.
I think it's a shallow socket.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's the.
I'll tell you the truth, John. I think it is a lighter receptacle, but I really do think there's like a slight design change, whereupon they're like on the old lighter receptacles, there used to be these two tangs that when you push the lighter in, it would stay in, right? Until it heated up, and then the heat or whatever, however it would work, the tangs would release the lighter so you could use it. But I don't think they have those tangs anymore. And I think that has something to do with it because they don't need them. The lighter itself, the design is the same, but those tangs aren't there.
There's also a center conductor, but I'm going
right.
a long time ago.
Right. There is something I have. I have this thing. It's an easy red adapter. So you could power up your car if you're going to change the battery.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what they gave me with it was like a little pigtail, and you plug it. There's two of them. One of them has alligator clips on one end and a cigarette lighter on the other. The other it's cigarette lighter to cigarette lighter, like male to female. So you plug it in, and then you have the female end that's like 6 inches longer in case you needed the space.
Right.
You could try picking up, and I got that in a parts store. I think I got it in an AutoZone, in fact.
Yeah, they have shallow adapter to sockets which go into USB. You can get tools.
Right.
I just got to find somebody else that's got a call with the cigarette lighter out, a shallow one, to see if it works in theirs or I have the same issue.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
I guess, that's all you can do, really.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let us know what happens with that. That's
yeah.
It's interesting.
Be interested to see how that goes.
The listening audience may have a suggestion. I know they have adapters, but I don't want to buy a wired one because it's got like one of those goosenecks on it.
Yeah. I know the one you mean. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm actually going to a Corvette Club meeting on Tuesday night. I could ask the vet guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a great day, guys.
All right, John.
Thanks, John. You too.
More so than we will.
I hope not. All right, John. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
You got it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bottom of the hour.
Yes, John's right. It's the bottom of the hour.
It's the bottom of the hour. John's producing our program. Nice.
So let's take our break at the bottom of the hour.
Yes.
We'll do that. And I will say
MatcoMan Brian sent a microscopic picture of the vice grips.
MatcoMan, yeah. I sent you a picture of that ratchet, by the way.
Oh, you did?
So take a look at that beauty.
Ooh, let me see.
And keep in mind, that's as a 1/4-inch drive ratchet.
That's a nice ratchet you got there.
I put it on top of a scale so you can see the length. It's 14 inches.
That's a good size for a ratchet, my
for getting in there.
That'd make me smile.
Yes, the other thing that'll make you smile is if you're a proud member of the Nassau Community College alumni.
Oh.
If you are, you can find out more about the Nassau Community College Alumni Association by visiting ncc.edu/alumni.
All righty.
And you can find out more about the weather by looking out the WHPC weather window. Yeah.
And what do you see, Ray Ray?
I see grayness, but I know that it's
Yes.
powered. WHPC weather is powered by Pantano's Gourmet, who's offering catering for the big game.
Yes.
So, today it is partly sunny. It's kind of gray out there. Becoming cloudy during the afternoon. High of only 36. It's chilly here today. Tonight they're saying rain and snow this evening and remaining overcast with a low of 32. Tomorrow maybe cloudy, high of 45 at most. And yeah. So do you have an honor group of the hour to cheer us up?
Why, yes, we do on this fine Groundhog's Day, the MotorMouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. If you've ever had to unfreeze something on your car, has the frigid weather been unkind to your vehicle? Has the combination of daytime melting snow and overnight cold snaps sticking things that should not be stuck? Did you have to spend the morning fiddling with the frozen driver's door lock just to have more success unlocking the passenger side? Once the doors were finally unlocked, did you have to circle around the car to find a door that wasn't stuck shut? Or worse, did you go to yank a frozen door open and end up with the door handle in your hand?
Ooh.
Once you finally get in, does attempting to roll down the window result in funny crunching noises when you hit the button? So you let the car run or drive around the neighborhood aimlessly in hopes that the blasting heat of the defroster will eventually unstick the frozen windows and doors. So if you had something that wouldn't budge on your vehicle due to the plunging temperatures, then you are part of the MotorMouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour and hope for an early spring.
There you go. All right, let's dive into our bottom of the hour break right now. We'll be back with more MotorMouth Radio. We got a little surprise in this break. Let's see if it'll play correctly for me. The first time I'm trying it. And we'll be back with more. Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer on 90.3 WHPC. Keep it going.
With answers to your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440. Oh, I should have said the MotorMouth thing.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Lynbrook and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
Moving morning, noon, and night. You keep on talking, baby, make my hair turn white. You talk too much. You yakety, 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 yakka all the time. You keep on talking, baby, drive me out of my mind. You talk too much. You keep on talking all around the clock. I'm begging you, baby, won't you please stop? You talk too much.
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the MotorMouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
Yeah, I don't know if we learned anything by that. That was a little, didn't play when I thought it was going to play. That really screwed me up there. That's a...
George Thorogood talking too much wouldn't play.
You know, it was a little something I
silent.
threw together. I was listening to the cassette in my Fiat, and I said, hey, you know what? I think this could be mashed up to kind of, you know, if I could cut this up. So believe me, it took a long time to cut this thing up. Let me try this again. Let's see, because it
Go ahead. Hey, I got all day.
our show. Let's see if it'll.
Why not? I don't mind.
Let's,
I like queuing up records on the fly. Doesn't matter.
yeah, that's right.
Queuing up tapes on the fly.
Mouth moving morning, noon, and night.
That's not MotorMouth.
Keep on talking, baby, make my hair turn white. You talk too much.
Yeah.
You yakety, 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 yakka all the time. You keep on talking, baby, drive me out of my mind. You talk too much. You keep on talking all around the clock. I'm begging you, baby, won't you please stop? You talk too much.
Well, I thought it kind of epitomized the show with all that, but you know what? With the music breaks, I don't like the way it came out.
That was okay. That was all right.
Maybe back to the drawing board. You know, it's hard when there's music in there because you have to, you know, it doesn't always line up. You know, I was concentrating more on the words.
Right. Well, you got close to the beat.
Yeah, I was.
But,
You know,
yeah.
now I
I know
you
it's a
go through and remake
technique.
stuff.
It's a technique. I get it.
So, you know, there's another technique we're going to try right now.
What is that?
We were asked
More
to make an
surprises.
outgoing phone call. So,
Oh,
yeah, I'm actually going to try this. Let's see if we can make an outgoing phone call here.
all righty. Ray is going to make an outgoing phone call to someone.
Yeah, we're going to
call
see if it'll work.
Uh-huh.
One of our callers whose phone was, so I guess we'll just put it right through the board and see.
This is the first to have an automotive talk program or any talk program actually reach out to call a caller.
Yeah, that didn't work. I just tried and we got, like you said, like you heard, we just got
Yeah, you got a
busy.
I got a busy, right?
Yeah, so let's
Yes.
try this again and see. This
Try it
was,
again. See if that'll work.
we'll give it one
We're
more
all
shot.
waiting with bated breath right here.
I know, I
Sitting
know.
around. I know. It's just the mystery of who we're calling.
Nah, that ain't
Nope.
working.
Okay.
Oh, Kim, what?
Do I help you?
I was trying to make an outgoing call, Kim. I
You
tried.
have to
and what I
dial
did is
one to dial out.
pressed one. I dialed that number.
You gotta dial 9 first.
Oh, 9, right? You know,
Oh,
I forgot we're at the college.
9. Ah,
There you go.
there you go. Dial 9 to dial out. All righty.
Yeah,
See,
38522. Well,
The show that is
I don't know if
constantly,
Doc will mind. We'll see.
started saying that.
All right.
constantly mired in technology.
I'll bring him up on the board here,
All right.
and we'll see.
Okay.
Ah,
Things are
it
looking
is
good.
ringing.
Ah,
It is ringing. Thank you, Kim.
thank you, Kim.
Greetings from Montana.
There we go. So we have Doc from Wesby, Montana on the line.
Hiya, Doc.
Hey, hi, Chris.
How you doing?
Explain to everybody why we had to call you.
Well, my home phone, for whatever weird reason, can only make local calls. And my cell phone, which is what I usually use, got dropped in the toilet this week, and I drowned it.
That'll do it, Doc.
But Consumer Cellular, as nice as they are, sending me a new one.
Wow, that's nice. That's good.
I didn't tell them I dropped it in the toilet. I told them to stop working.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
Don't worry, they're not listening.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys are whining. You guys are kind of whining about the chilly weather.
What? Tell us what it is in Westby, Montana right now.
Well, right now it's warming up a little. Let's see. I'm refreshing this.
Yes, we're liking the fact
Oh,
that
okay,
I
it's
think
getting warmer. It's only 6 below zero.
I don't know why we're getting that weirdo. We do have definitely a weirdo kind of.
we're getting an echo, a nice echo sound.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Yeah, I don't know why. All right, so Doc, we're not gonna keep you too long because of that. That kind of annoys people when you hear that. So we we'll get back with you again, of course, when you have better communication.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you guys a call next week.
All right, very good.
And I'll have my phone back by then. And I got a whole bunch of stuff to go over with you.
All right, very good. Look forward to it, Doc.
We're looking forward to that.
Good. Have a good week, guys.
Thanks. Okay.
Thanks, you too, Doc. Be safe.
All righty. Yes, very good. Well,
6
so
degrees below zero.
things don't always work the way we like on this show.
No.
Usually, typically, never. But we give it a
We
try.
are truly the technological guinea pigs of this fine upstanding radio station. That's for
So,
sure.
I've been on a bit of a spending spree lately.
Oh, what'd you buy? A new T-shirt,
No. Well,
an old T-shirt.
my car was back in the body shop for work. I told you after my deck lid had gone over 90
Right.
degrees at a cruise night,
It pivoted.
I had to make an insurance claim because there was some damage done underneath, and
Sure.
it's been in the shop. It was in the shop now for a couple of weeks, and the car got repainted, and it looks great. I brought it back to our shop, Shop B, where I reinstalled all of the trim, the bright work, the trim, stainless, and the bumpers and all that. Did all the finishing touches. funny. I was putting, I put the door handles. I was putting the doors back together because I had to take the interior panels off.
Right.
When you put the external door latches on the car, there's a gasket. There's two gaskets. One goes under
Yes.
the part where the push button is, and the other's a little teardrop one. So
Yes.
I was putting the right side door panel back together. Now I had the panel in. All I had to do was put 2 more screws in it, and I was done. And I was sitting there trying to get an angle on how to get the screws in, and I looked down on the ground, and I saw something on the floor that kind of looked almost the same color. And I'm like, what? I picked up, I'm like, it looked like a teardrop shape. And I said, oh no, oh no. And I picked it up, and it was the teardrop gasket that goes on the back side of the door latch, not where the push button is, on the other side, between the
Right.
latch and the back. You know, you put them against the car, and they stuck the first time. Well, this one slipped out apparently and hit the ground.
So the door handle now does not have a gasket between it and the body of the car.
On just on one half of it. The half where the push button is did. There's a
Mhm.
lot to hold that one. The other side didn't. Just a small end of the handle. So I picked it up and I put it in my bag of parts, and I took it home. I said, oh, I just put this door panel all together. I'm not going to take it all off just to do that. Well, Friday, I was sitting at home, and I said, you know what? I got to go out to the garage. I got to put that stupid gasket in.
It's going to make you crazy.
And I
Yes.
took the door panel all apart again and put that stupid gasket in. But I've had a problem with my car now for a while. And I suspected there was something up with my steering column. The directionals didn't cancel one way, so I bought a directional switch with a bearing.
Yeah. I
Put
remember
that-
you doing that.
I get a clicking noise when I turn the wheel, and so I bought a steering column.
You bought a steering column?
Yes, because there's no one around anymore that rebuilds these things.
No, definitely not.
So I was dealing with Summit, and they have
Mhm.
their line of columns that was about $340, $350.
All
You
right.
know, and I could get a tilt column. Yeah, I was going to get a tilt.
Yeah, now we're talking.
So, but when I was talking to the fellow, I noticed, I'm looking at the picture. I said, okay, now I know a picture isn't always not what you get in the box. Maybe, you know, they use just a stock picture. I said,
Right.
what I'm seeing is the harness that comes out of the column that would mate to the dash harness. It was a straight flat connector. And I said, and I know that's the connector that GM used from like 69 and up. Mine has a crescent-shaped semicircular
Yes.
connector.
Yes, I understand. That's for the like the neutral safety switch sits on that. And,
No.
And no?
No, not on a 65. Some cars,
Okay.
yes, but not on
Okay.
mine.
All
The
right.
neutral safety was on the transmission. So,
Oh,
but still, that's how the directionals and the horn and all that stuff get the signal out. So
Yeah.
I asked him, is that just representative? Is that just a picture, or is that the way the column comes? And he didn't know. And he said, you know, there were some companies that made a conversion harness to go from the semicircle to the flat. And he's looking, he couldn't find it. He goes, I think I did it. The IDIDIT company has that. He couldn't find it. He goes, well, you know, you can always go with the IDIDIT column, which is a direct bolt-in fit instead of more of a universal fit. So I said, okay, I'm on the website. I found it. I said, okay, it's nice, powder coated black. Everything is the same. Of course, it's like $750.
oh, jeez.
And I said, you know what? I said, if you can't find that adapter and this one is a direct fit, I said, send it. I'll take it. So it came, beautiful. The hokiest knobs for the directional knob and for the tilt knob. It's a chrome knob with a big black thing at the end of it. I'm going to use the stock knob, the stock levers.
You're a stock knob kind of guy. I
In this
know
case,
that.
yes. But I look
Yes.
at the bottom of the first thing I do is I look at the column, and it has a flat connector on it.
Of course it does.
Like so much for direct fit, guys.
Yeah, exactly. You got
So
lied to. Oh, what a surprise.
the next day I call IDIDIT. And what did IDIDIT send me? They sent me this.
Oh, yeah.
You can
That's
see
an adapter.
it's
It's got the curve, the crescent
curved to flat.
connection. Nice.
It also has with it, it gives me provisions for four-way flashers.
Oh, wow.
My car didn't have.
Your car doesn't have that.
So I was still kind of ticked off that I had to spend another $60 on something that should have been in the direct fit kit.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, now I have it, and now I can, do that and have four-way flashers, and everything is groovy.
Very cool. Yeah, four-way flashes were an option. And some cars did. My
Right.
63 and 64 Cadillac didn't have four-way flashers.
Oh, they had that, and they had that big chrome box under the dash with a big, looked like it was out of a tow truck.
With the big red light on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this solves that problem.
It's funny you should mention that. I had a 63 Caddy. I had many of them, but my black one had that very same thing in it. And it looked like you said, it looked like it's something out of a tow truck.
Exactly.
Not very un-Cadillac like.
Right. Well, all cars were like that, pretty
Mhm.
much. So then what I did is I said, you know what? I'm on a roll. There's one more thing I want for that car that I haven't bought, and now I want to change the seats. I've been dealing with a seat
Finally.
issue for years. And
Yes, you have.
Ames, the Pontiac place I deal with, has these seats. It's actually a Pro Car seat, which is made by Scat. And they look like they're like out of a NASCAR. They have side bolsters up here and bolsters on the bottom. They definitely don't.
And you want that in the car?
Yeah, they definitely are not correct for. But I'm not. The seats in the car, the 65 seats are just flat and square.
Right.
There's no side bolstering.
No.
But the thing they did with these seats is what I was trying to get done, many years ago with the fellow out here we were dealing with.
Right.
They put the vinyl in the insert in the top and bottom of the seat, the diagonal vinyl pattern with the Pontiac arrowhead that is correct for my car.
That's interesting. Okay.
So the vinyl will be correct. The seat will be wrong, but the seat will be comfortable. And that also has an 8-way tilt to it and a locking back, which is nice.
Wow.
So interestingly enough, Ames had them for like $1,700 for the pair. Then you have to buy the adapters for the tracks, the mounting brackets.
Okay.
$109 a piece. So there's another $218, right? So
look at you.
And I verified that they were going to be drop shipped from the manufacturer. And also, I said, how long will it take to get these? He goes, about 4 to 6 months. I was like, what?
What?
I said, okay, I'll get back to you. Because I had the OPG catalog there. The OPG catalog showed the same seats for $13.99.
Right.
Less money.
Yeah.
Their tracks were only $69 a set, right?
Right.
So I called OPG, verified all of that was correct. The pattern was correct and everything. I said, all right, what's the wait time? How long will it take to get them? He goes, 4 to 6 weeks. I was like,
sold.
So, now,
good for you. I love it.
I will wait because when I pull the driver's seat out, that's when I'll change the column because I can lay on the floor then and work.
Got it.
Without the seat in my way.
Smart idea. Yeah.
So then I will finally have the interior done to the way I like it.
Uh-huh.
And there's one more thing I want to change. I'm going to change my car, Pontiac in 65, wanted to be a little classy, and they put a wood grain applique on my dash where the gauges are.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wood grain anywhere else in the car.
Right.
My console is silver and black, ribbed. There's a silver and black ribbing on the bottom on the dash where the knobs are on all. So silver and black ribbing is kind of the theme for that car pretty much. But they did wood. But they do make that applique in the engine turned aluminum.
That's what I was going to ask you. Wasn't that an option
64.
as well?
No, it came in the 64 GTOs, the engine turn dash.
Right.
65, they went to the wood grain, the walnut.
Okay.
Actually, they actually probably what they were thinking is an upsell package. In 65, you could have got the optional steering wheel that was walnut and the optional shift knob that was walnut. So that would have been your 3 pieces of walnut.
And you just had the one.
I just have the one, right? So
in that car's lifetime, just one showed up.
I think the engine tune would look a little nicer in the car, a little better. So I'm gonna change.
I think so. Yeah, because I remember the first car I ever had with the engine tune dash was the Riviera. I had a 71 Riv.
Yes, correct.
Had an engine, and I thought that was the coolest. And that's what I love about like
that
all
whole
of those
dash was the coolest.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about the mid-70s Trans Ams.
Right.
They had the engine tuned dash over the on the dashboard, other than the Firebird Esprit wood grain.
Yes.
they had the engine tuned dash on the Trans Ams, which I thought was super slick. So yeah, that would definitely be something to. Would be nice to do that probably when the column is out.
I could do that
Think
with
about
that.
it.
Yeah, that's not that big of a deal. But this is the thing: these cars, unless you build a stock car, which I certainly didn't do, and it's funny because although I'm not the stock guy, you are.
Yeah.
I'm a modified guy. I wanted it was just one of the things I wanted to do. Like I didn't mind doing all the day two stuff. I now, since I had the bumpers off, I sent the toe tabs out and had them powder coated yellow. I had, and I got the yellow high beams, all that stuff. I like all the hot rod stuff, but I just wanted the interior to look pretty much stock, not changed. Like I didn't put the tack on the column. I'm using the in-dash tack.
Good.
I do have gauges under the dash, right? Other gauges, but I kind of wanted to keep the interior kind of cleaned up and more original looking.
You didn't want to make it look so day two.
Yeah, well, just because that's what I wanted to, and I had the tack and I had it rebuilt, so I said, good, let me use the tack in the dash. I just, because I did it the way I wanted to do it. So now, like I said, obviously the seats are not going to be anywhere near looking original. They're going to be really comfortable, and I can't wait to get my wife in the car for the first Cloverleaf run because it's going to hug her nice and tight like Huggy Bear, just like sitting there nice, and she's going to need it. Because the car does handle well. But this is what we do. We do what we want to do with these cars. If it was an original car, yeah, you keep it original because it's worth more like that. My car wasn't original when I bought it, and it was 10 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that car was always messed with.
Yes.
From the second you got it.
It's been a rolling test bed since I've owned it. So I have no problem with changing things around. So
no, in that case, you're absolutely right. The thing that I always made fun of you about was you had to fix all of the sins that you applied to that vehicle as you were growing up and learning.
That's true. Because if you think of it, I had this car when I was in my 20s, and I did do, but I was smart enough. Like, one of the things that we talk about is when I had to take the radio out, and I had to cut the dash. But where the knobs, the holes were, I really just cut on top and bottom, and I folded those pieces in. So now, and there was a trim piece that covered it. Now I folded them back, welded them up, and you put the trim piece on, you never know that it was ever screwed with.
Exactly. And that's always something that we always did. That has been a mantra of mine. I like to option cars out.
Right.
And use the options that came with the car. Like the Chrysler is just like yours, just like your GTO. It showed up in my lifetime, in my world, it showed up already improved. It's already been modified.
Oh, sure.
So with the 300, all the Chrysler 300 accoutrements. So to add another mirror on the passenger door was a no-brainer.
No biggie, yeah.
The car didn't come with it originally, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go find a set of 1969 or 1970, they're the same, mirrors, and I'm going to hang them on a car. And that's what I did.
I did the same. My car only came with, and the side view was optional in 69.
Yeah.
My car came with a left. I bought a right. But then found out, because I was so used to modern cars with two mirrors, right?
Yeah.
But I found out that the right mirror was a regular glass mirror. It wasn't a concave mirror like modern cars have.
Right.
So you didn't get the same visibility on the road.
Yeah.
I had my good friend Ricky, who does glass. He made me a convex insert.
Oh, nice.
I put it in that mirror. So now I do have a convex mirror on the right side.
Very cool.
And I can see, a little bit more of a fisheye.
And that's the funny thing about those mirrors. Even though you have mirrors on both sides, at least on the Chrysler, it's like the size of a $50. It's like this small little thing.
I mean, these are round.
Well, mine are
4-inch. Yeah, it's like a 4.
Yeah, it's like that big.
3 or 4-inch.
Like looking like
bigger than that.
Yeah, there's no one there. All right, I could change lanes.
Right. But
yeah, I had a little.
Mirrors are important.
No, it's true. I had a little minor setback with the Chrysler real fast. I drove it one night during the week. That car drives so well in cold weather. It was like 30 degrees, and I'm like, I'll take this thing out. I took it out, ran like a charm.
Yeah, how you like colder air?
Yeah, well, thanks. I'm going to use the car in the winter now.
That's it.
Well, anyway, I turn the headlights on, and the Chrysler headlight doors make this clangy sound, this cheap clangy. They go cling, and they go up, and I'm driving with my headlights on. Wonderful. I pull into the garage. I go to shut the headlights off. The lights go off. I don't hear the headlight doors come down. I don't hear the ka-chung, like this ungodly noise, this metal on metal noise. I don't hear it. I'm like, uh-oh. I get out of the car and I go look at the front. Headlight doors are up.
Right, right.
So
Oh, well.
maybe this week, in the next warm day, I got to go and massage my headlight door motor.
Hit him with a stick. Yeah.
I've tried.
Yeah.
I tried the Ray Guarino carburetor adjustment method.
Is that vacuum operated?
No, it's electrical.
It is electrical. Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin, good kilowatt Kevin, on his 68 GTO, they were vacuum operated and they were always problematic. He went and sprung for the electric motor conversion, which was a little pricey.
Smart idea,
but
but
again,
smart idea.
Very nice. And once you have it dialed in, now there's no drama,
Yeah, exactly. And it's because of lack of use, because I never use the car at night. So it's just lack of, so it's just, I'll pull the motor, I'll go through it, we'll figure it out, clean it up.
Right.
The usual, but it's one of those things, one of those garage things that need to be done.
Sure.
Just the joys of owning an old car.
There's always a list of stuff. There's always things to do, and that's the beauty of the hobby. There's always something to do.
Exactly, whether you like it or not.
Exactly. Yes, you're exactly right.
I'm like, it's like I love to hear that ka-ching noise, and I didn't hear it. I'm like, you dirty old why.
Well, that's your indicator that there was a problem.
Yeah.
Hey, better that they're stuck up because at least you can still now use it.
Oh yeah. Well, not a problem.
Unless you're driving at night in the darkness of Connecticut and you hear ka-chunk. Oh no!
There's a convenient knob at the bottom of the motor,
right?
And you have to turn it just to get the headlight. If you wanted the headlight doors down, or worse, if you wanted the headlight doors up to actually see, like you say, there's a knob that you'd have to pop the hood, get under there, and turn that knob, and it rotates the doors open manually.
That's what was nice about the early vets and like the Camaros, the RS Camaros. They had you could put the lights on without opening the doors, and it would shine through, give you that
69.
Kind of, yeah, that was cool. That was a cool look.
Well, the reason why I did that because the headlight doors were, I think they were vacuum as well, and they had a ride on a track. And I remember a good friend of mine had an 69 RS Camaro and never got the doors to work right. They would open up halfway.
Right.
So you'd have the headlight door frame would be sitting right in the middle of the headlight with the headlights on.
Right.
He got nothing.
So
yeah.
I tell you what, we kind of burned another hour here. We're
lovely.
Stay tuned for Kim and Thunder Road, Best of Springsteen, the band. I know you do because you like her show better than honestly. You've said it.
I know I do.
Not you. I mean, other people. Well, you have too. Yeah, you have. But and next week, I guess we'll get Doc on a good connection. We'll hear his stories of woe.
Find out about his toilet tales.
And we'll find out. Like I said, I've been working on the shop truck to get a good brake pedal. So far, it's kind of spongy. I don't know. Even Eric, the car guy, said, you're not going to get it on one of these trucks. I'm trying, and I couldn't do it either. But I'm going to try something this week. I'm going to try a couple things, and I'll see if I can make a...
yeah, let me know, because I'd like to see if I can get the tracker's brakes a little bit better. I actually adjusted the rear shoes, and it's...
You got to talk to MatcoMan Brian, get yourself some better tools. He'll hook you up.
It sounds like a plan.
Not a problem. All right, so let's get out of here. For Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino, MotorMouth Radio, over and out. Chris, what do we tell the people waiting for me in the parking lot?
Don't follow us home unless you have a better tool.
Exactly. And you're going to go against me. You better have something good because I'm bringing it. So we'll be back next week with more MotorMouth Radio on 90.3 WHPC.
Bring your tool everywhere you go. See you, bye.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision.